glimpse into his inspiring journey and contributions to the world of HR and organizational behavior.
The scholar of strategy, the trainer of trainers, and the mind behind management mastery. What happens when academic brilliance meets corporate depth? You get Professor Kodwani, a powerhouse of knowledge, impact, and innovation. With nearly 3 decades of experience across industry and academia, Prof. Amitabh Deo Kodwani stands as a distinguished name in the world of organizational behavior and human resource management. From shaping future leaders at IIM Indore to mentoring executives across global corporates, he has consistently championed the cause of meaningful learning and performance enhancement. Join your hands together to welcome Professor Amitabh Deo Kodwani.
So now would request Professor Amitabh to address the professionals. So, someone once said, they say, train your people so well that they are ready to leave any time, but treat them so well that they never want to. And honestly, that's the sweet point which you, HR, are always trying to hit. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Good morning and welcome you all. Thanks IMA for giving me this opportunity, and I really appreciate that they took a risk to invite an academician and giving only 15 minutes of time. So I hope I'll try to be very precise. I'm trying to see a clock so that it can be a reminder to me. I'll try my best to limit myself to that. Everyone was talking about how they see HR, and I was hearing the question of Ms. Chani that, she said that females are coming to it. It reminded me my class has 39 PGP HR, MBA HR student. Out of 39, 1 boy and 38 girls. I sometimes feel pity on the boy. I try to save, So yeah, it's true. How do I see HR? I'll just try to begin with that. I see the role of HR is like, managing 2 mother-in-laws together. Who are these 2 mother-in-laws? One is an employer, and other is the employee. Now, look at what is the expectation of these 2 parties from HR. The employer expects that every new employee HR hire should be better than the previous employee. 24/7, committed, loyal, engaged, dedicated, I don't know what all. Organization, citizenship, behavior, everything. Should contribute more, should work more, should be highly engaged, should do more discretionary effort, should love to live and die for the organization. No doubt, it's a good expectation. That's the expectation on one side. Look at the expectation on the other side. The other mother-in-law had a different expectation. Why somebody is joining a new job, new organization? It should be better than the previous one in terms of salary, in terms of work-life balance, so-called, in terms of better working environment, relaxed work environment, more flexibility, autonomy, and so on and so forth. Imagine 2 different, kind of expectations, and the HR has to act as a bridge between the 2, which is a big, big challenge. Very difficult to satisfy both. And both always have a lot of discontent. And they say that, maja nahi aaya. And that's the way it goes on. I also thank, IMA for giving me this opportunity because I'm able to meet my old colleagues after a long, long, long time. Ranjanji, I started my career, and learned a lot from him. I would like to focus on some of my experiences of how, there is a paradigm shift in HR. Change is happening continuously, no doubt. 10 years back also the statement was true. 20 years back also the statement was true. Today also the statement is true. However, I see some different kind of a change in the last, 5-6 years. Earlier, whenever we used to talk about the changing paradigm of HR, we used to look at a benchmark called, the pre-liberalization and the post-liberalization. Because many things got changed because of that. A lot of new MNCs came in and the whole culture got changed. We get to know a lot of new ways of dealing with people and so on and so forth. However, when I look at now, when there is a paradigm change took place, I see that the COVID is responsible for that. If I see, there is something called as the pre-COVID and the post-COVID era. So I'm just trying to take you to that era, that what kind of paradigm change has taken place and how HR need to cope up in this kind of environment, or probably what different they need to do in this new dynamics of doing business post-COVID. So that's why I always look at, what is pre and the post-COVID scenario change. If you look at the first thing what we got to know when the Harvard published an article on the Great Resignation. Resignations were happening earlier also. What is so great in the Great Resignation phenomena? This Great Resignation was primarily the mass, exit of people. More number of people started leaving the organization. What insight they got during COVID that they started leaving the organization? In fact, the kind of attrition we were talking about, 10%, 12%, 15%, 17%, 16%, something like that, pre-COVID, all of a sudden we started talking about 30, 40%. Some private sector banks even started facing the heat of 50 to 58% of attrition rates. Just imagine the kind of attrition we are talking about. It is putting a new challenge on HR on twofold. I remember I was talking to one of the head HR of an IT company whose attrition rate was very, very under control pre-COVID, and started saying that, no, what has happened? Why they are leaving? Why they are not talking to me? Why they are not staying back in the organization? What has motivated them? What has sparked all of a sudden they are trying to leave? And that becomes a big challenge for the HR. One, how to retain, and two, how to have a strong pipeline in place so that I am able to get the replacements fast. Continuing with the Great Resignation, the COVID has also compelled business to think of new ways of doing the business, right from office 9 to 5 shift to move on to something called as a work from home or work from wherever you are, right? In whichever home you are. And then started talking about something called as a hybrid work environment. Now, very interesting thing happened here. The interesting thing was that the moment people started working from home, it looks very good. Some people demanded that from almost a decade, started happening it, working at home. However, there were a couple of challenges also. For example, the moment I'm leaving my office, my thoughts of office are getting faded, and my thoughts about the home and my personal life, personal problem, personal issues are getting into my mind. This is the way I'm getting transition from an office to home. But now, from work from home, one step outside my bedroom, I'm at home. One step inside my bedroom or inside a study room, I'm in the office. Or probably I'm in a bedroom, in the same office and the same home. Now the disconnect between the office and the home didn't took place. And it also had its own pros and cons. One side, I'm with the family every time. But on the other side, there's a pain also. I remember a lady was sharing that, she's on a call with a client in the room, close the room. Outside the room, kids are also there attending the classes online. The two kids started fighting and both are calling, Mama, please come. One is crying, one is shouting. Mama can't go out. Look at the pain. If Mama is in office, she may only get to know when she reach home, right? But will not go through the pain. You can hear it, listen it. You need it there, but you can't go because you are on the call. So I'm saying that, look, it has both, the advantages and disadvantages. However, there's a confusion. Should we call it back? Should we continue with the work from home scenario? Should we go with a hybrid, 2 days, 3 days in office, rest all in the home? Or should we call completely people in the office? There is still a lot of work going on. And again, the issue of measurement comes in. Which is best for me? Should I continue with my work from home scenario? Should I continue with this philosophy of an hybrid work culture? Should I continue with the philosophy of working only from the office? A lot of metrics, measurement, assessment, evaluation is required to understand which one is good for me. This is continuing, and then we saw an interesting trend. Working from home, especially in some of the back-end activities, what you need is one phone, which has probably one SIM or two SIM slot, one laptop. That's what the work was. And all of a sudden, people started realizing that people are working for more than 2 companies, more than 3 companies. And moonlighting became a new issue when the HR got to know from the Provident Fund office that, hey, some of the employees are getting Provident from the multiple source. And the HR was shocked what is happening. So moonlighting became the new phenomena. Now, very interesting thing here. Look at the same employee, which was working from office, one job, one boss, one employer. Work-life balance issue. Now working for 2 bosses or 3 bosses, 3 companies. Now there is no work-life balance problem. So again, this becomes a challenge. What is that work-life balance issue? In fact, I tell you a very interesting story. Recently, one of our, we have a executive PhD program, and one of the head HR of a fantastic IT company is doing PhD with us, and he was sharing, sir, do you know that 300 people we sacked in 1 year because of the moonlighting? So much of problems going on. And he said, interesting thing, one guy was found working for 6 employers. I said, why you throw him out here? You should have first rewarded him. Ask him how he's managing 6 bosses here. He said, sir, we did it. First we called him, asked him, and then we threw him out. And you know what did he say? He was from a small town called Khammam, and what he did was he created an office in his own house, hired local 6 people, acted as a supervisor there, and just only looking after the entire work, managing the whole show. Where is the work-life balance now? Okay, so I'm saying that, look, these are the things which we are juggling with, and we need to work on that. Again, this moonlighting continued, and in between we saw another interesting trend. In fact, from the Great Resignation, we fall down to another interesting trend called as the quiet quitting. Now, whole world was talking about pre-COVID. Till now, we are talking about one thing called as the employee engagement, expecting people to be showing a lot of discretionary effort and all. However, the challenge is that all of a sudden post-COVID, we realize that there is something called as a quiet quitting, where people are trying to do bare minimum to just be on the job so that they are not thrown out. So I'll do bare minimum, which can help me to retain my job, nothing more than that. And there, the concept of going down engagement, lower engagement levels started coming in. And again, it was a challenge for HR. Whole of HR practices, what we did to improve employee engagement levels in the new work arrangement in terms of work from home or hybrid or work from office, what kind of new engagement initiatives we should start, what kind of new engagement activities are required to gauge, to measure, to improve the performance of the employees, because we have to satisfy one of the mother-in-law. And that's why the challenge came in quiet quitting. Now, all this were going on, and all of a sudden, 2024, we had a new phenomena called as the loud quitting. Quiet quitting, then again loud quitting. In the loud quitting, a very interesting thing happened. I've changed my jobs a lot. A bad example I gave to my student, don't do that. Now, a very interesting thing happens. Changing job is always having something new, something better, everything is good. But there is one painful phenomena. That painful phenomena is that you have to go to your boss with your resignation, convince the boss with a very nice, interesting story so that the boss gets convinced and we should leave happily. Right? And whenever you go to the boss will say that, where are you going, Amitabh? This chair is for you. There's a separate story. Boss will not leave the chair. But the whole idea is that emotionally, they try to retain. If you are a good employee, they try to retain you. That's the only time when you get to know, are you a really worth employee or not? And there will be a fair chance that the counter offer will come and says that, hey, can you stay back? What do you want? What is your problem? What is the issue? You want a location change? You want something else? Please tell me. I'm trying to give you a counter offer to retain back. So out of 10, sometimes 3, 4, 5 are trying to be retained back by the organization. Loud quitting is something wherein I'll first let the whole world know about, I want to leave. Then only the boss will get to know. Right? So I'm not leaving any scope, and that too sometime with lot of negativity I'm leaving. I'm criticizing, I'm talking negative, and then I'm leaving. I'm not letting any opportunity for the HR to give me a counter offer, right? I'm leaving means I'm leaving. And sometimes people are leaving even without informing HR. I was just traveling 3 days back to Pune, having a training program with Ferrero. A very interesting thing happened. The person sitting next to me in the flight, 3 times that crew member came and said, sir, please switch off your mobile. Sir, please switch off your mobile. This person was on the phone shouting. After that, when the moment he switched off, I asked him, boss, looks very tense. What happened? All fine? You want a water and all? Then he shared a story. He said this, sir, I'm into sales. And 289 people I'm managing. This youngster, sir, is a big pain. He said, one of the person has left the organization just saying goodbye, I'll not be coming from tomorrow. Hey, some formalities are to be met, man. You have to wait for 1 month. Handover charges, nothing. Do whatever you feel like. Tomorrow onwards, I'm not going to come. Went into the market, tried some jobs, and this person was being given multiple times requests, notices by the company, and was being declared absconding. And then the person tried to get a new job because of the status of absconding, didn't get the new job, must have gone to various employers, somebody might have asked for the previous certificate, and so on and so forth. Finally, he called up and said that, hey, I need a certificate. Relieving certificate, good relieving certificate. You can't get it. You have to come back. And this man said that, give me. He said, no, you have to come back. And finally, you know what he did? Opened the social media account, recorded a video. I was working with this company for 2 years. Now they are not giving me relieving certificate. Listen, the whole world. I've tried many jobs. Nobody's giving me the job. I am going to commit a suicide on that day, that place, in front of the office of this company. I invite everyone to witness my suicide. Right? And the HR called this manager and said that, do something, you will be in trouble. What will he do? So I'm saying that look at the kind of challenges HR is facing. Right? What do you do with that? Social media, so much of negativity it spreads about the organization, unnecessary, you have not done anything wrong, is still negativity. I'm trying to portray by all these paradigm shifts, all these new kind of challenges what we are facing, the demand for the new perspectives or demand for the new HR practices is on the rise. And out of the box thinking what we needed at this point of time. The same practices what were fantastic, successful in the past will no longer work because we are dealing with a complete different scenarios, talking about the gig economy, talking about the platform work, talking about something very different which we have never imagined only 5 years back. Forget about the 20, 30 years I'm talking about. So, what I'm trying to focus on, it's not working. HR and technology can't go hand in hand, looks like. All right. Anyway, I'm used to of that. It always happens. So, it has come. Great. So, what is more important these days? I find that we need to measure what we are doing. Continuously, we need to keep on measuring what we are doing. Not only just to understand what is happening, but once we understand, then only we come to know that, we can control it. And when we are able to control it, then only something improvement can happen. Something which can be measured can only be improved, and hence a lot of measurements are required. Now, when I'm talking about the measurement, I'm saying that what is the purpose of this measurement? Is it only for the purpose of reporting what has happened in the past, to showcase, to report someone? That could be one way of looking at it. Then the different approach of measurement is required. However, when I'm talking about the measuring for the purpose of analyzing, monitoring, right, then a different approach of measurement is required, different yardsticks are required, different tools are required. And when I'm going for something to predict and forecast about the future, talking about the predictive analytics, then probably a different measurement tools are required. So we need to be very careful what is the purpose of this measuring. I'll just show you one, this will be my last slide. So I'll just show you something about the talent numbers and the talent life cycle if I look at it. If you see that, this is in continuation with what my previous speaker was talking about. Pipeline, it's a big problem. Look at the kind of numbers we are looking at. Don't go by exact numbers. Numbers may change, based on the different reports. However, every report is only talking about one very important thing, that do you have a very strong pipeline exist or not? If not, you are in trouble. Because the uncertainties, the different kind of challenges what we have, numbers are increasing, new forms, new methods, new tools are required, and hence if you don't have a pipeline, you will not be able to meet the challenges of today and tomorrow. Similarly, the acquisition, the right person, I think one of the speakers in the beginning also talked about the right person. Am I able to identify the right person or not? Cost of poor hire, bad hire is very, very high. So am I able to take care of that or not? Then the third big challenge, as I was talking about the quiet quitting and all, how do I engage people, right? Almost roughly any data talks about a 20 to 29 or 30% employees are highly engaged, and similarly 17 to 23% people are highly disengaged. So engaged people, highly engaged people are taking the organization one step forward. Disengaged people are taking one step back. How are you able to strike a fantastic balance to have more engaged and much less disengaged employees? Similarly, developing people, because it's very important that am I getting that plug and play kind of employees, or are they getting into the right role at the right time in a very short span of time staying in the organization? How quickly they are able to showcase that ROI? Deploying the right person on the right job so that your attritions, your satisfaction, disengagement, everything can be taken care of. Also, how am I trying to develop my people to manage a large number of people? Why? Because we are talking about the flat organizations. More number of people are to be taken care by one manager. So how am I increasing the leadership qualities of those? And also, how am I able to retain my talent? Talent is those who are adding good value to the organization. Very simple way if I look at it. So how am I able to retain my talent? And also, how am I able to evaluate and understand who are my good performers, who are better performers, who are able to contribute more to the organization than the previous one. And that's why measurement makes a lot of difference. One last example if I give. For example, we say that, I want to measure my hiring, and I say that, what is the cost per hire? No, is it really right metrics for me? Should I look at cost per hire? Probably I can look at, let me look at recruitment cost ratio. Why should I look at cost per hire? Because recruitment cost ratio will give me a better perspective of, in terms of how much salary I'm paying to the people. I can get a better idea of that. So I'm saying that which metrics to use, how to measure, which metrics to use. These are the two important questions I want to leave this thought that we need to address, because the things which are changing are completely different, which we have never imagined 5 years back. With that, I put a full stop here. Thank you very much.
Great point, professors. Your point of two mother-in-laws will be a takeaway for everyone, and I'm sure of it. The before and after COVID effect, the attrition rate, the moonlight, the quiet quitting, the loud quitting, the suicide story, everything, and the importance of measurement which you told us today. So now I would like to request Mr. Rajiv Majumdar, HR Head, Unichem Laboratories, Indore, to present the token of remembrance to Professor Amitabh Deo Kodwani. And sir, we would like to thank you for your valuable insights and experience with us. Today, your suggestions have really made us think, and we are excited to take them forward. We truly appreciate you taking the time to be with us and sharing your expertise. Thanks again, sir. I would also like to thank my sponsors for their valuable support: Oyster Group, Temper Central, Office Store, and Agrawal Sweets. Now, moving ahead for the next session, I would like to request Ms. Shonali Paul, Board of Director of IMA and CEO of Cloud LMS, to escort our esteemed speaker, Mr. Prem Singh, on the stage. And now, let's keep the energy going. May I request Ms. Sonpal to take over the session, please?
Hi.